Graeme For over half my life, I've had a basketball in my hands at one point during my day. Not only is the game my passion, but it gives me direct relationships with friends and mentors that will last a lifetime. They say what you put in equals what you get out. In my case, I am pleased to state I have passed this far, as I have learned the most crucial skills which will be applied on a daily basis during my life. Most importantly, I have learned how to fight through the tough times and strive together to create a singular unit, namely a team. Perseverance can have many different meanings in the game. Not only do players face individual obstacles they must overcome, such as injury and rough shooting patches, but collectively as a unit, a team must continue to roll through opposing teams' runs and opponents' trash talk. Much like a basketball team coming together when facing adversity, the Black community came together during the Harlem Renaissance time period during the Roaring Twenties to create a single identity and work towards the common goal of equivalency with the white race. The Black community in Harlem, New York was comprised of more than 1,750. Bro, what is that number? 175,000. 175,000. I'm restarting. Hi, my name is Graeme. For over half my life, I've had a basketball in my hands at some point during my day. Not only is the game my passion, but it gives me direct relationships with friends and mentors that will last a lifetime. They say what you put in equals what you get out. In my case, I am pleased to state I have passed this bar, as I have learned the most crucial skills which will be applied on a daily basis during my life. Most importantly, I have learned how to fight through the tough times and strive together to create a singular unit, namely a team. Perseverance can have many different meanings in the game. Not only do players face individual obstacles they must overcome, such as injury and rough shooting patches, but collectively as a unit, a team must continue to roll through opposing teams' runs and opponents' trash talk, much like a basketball team coming together when facing adversity. The Black community came together during the Harlem Renaissance time period during the Roaring Twenties to create a single identity and work towards the common goal of equivalency with the white race. The Black community in Harlem, New York was comprised of more than 175,000 African Americans. These New York citizens range from unskilled laborers to poets, writers, and musicians, all attempting to come together and make a voice for themselves, in order to finally be free from persecution and discrimination. During my time on the basketball court, I've experienced many walls which need to be scaled in order to gain greater success for myself and the team as a whole. Let's put this into perspective. With almost an hour of basketball a day, 7 days a week, the average basketball athlete spends 7 hours a week on team practice. This can account for about 30 hours a month and 365 hours a year, and that's only practice. This doesn't include game time, tournaments, travel time, working out, shooting hoops, stretching. Outside of this, we find ourselves busy with school life and other events that take place within our family. In order to persevere, the student athlete must find a way to balance their schedule for all, their dedications such as basketball, schoolwork, work, family, and friends. It's not a mean feat. A perfect example of this delicate balance is the social aspect all teenagers live with today, that being social media and influences. 30 minutes can be spent on something completely unproductive, such as scrolling through Instagram, or it can be put towards something meaningful, like extra practice or help towards your end result of being the best player on the court. Perseverance on the floor requires both a strong mental and physical state. It takes mental focus and desire to get your head back in the game after a missed shot or a bad pass. These tough moments can be surpassed and easily forgotten in the next play, if it's a better one. You have to keep looking forward. In a team situation, this is where your teammates come in to bolster your confidence and keep morale up for the better of the unit as a whole. There is always great value in learning from your mistakes, and reviewing during game film can help lead to the overall goal as long as you don't lose sight of the big picture and keep moving in a forward and positive direction. Ultimately, in basketball, you win and lose as a team, so you must work together as a cohesive unit to succeed. As the 1920s rolled into the 1930s, the Harlem Renaissance became a prevalent cultural movement centered in Harlem, New York. With such a large population of African Americans living in this area, a close-knit group began to form with the same goal: to celebrate their common heritage, to embrace self-expression, and to be rid of degrading stereotypes. The sheer number of them in one location allowed them to act as a group and no longer as individuals. They became a team, and together they sought fairness and equality for all. Individuals such as Alan Locke, Langston Hughes, Claude McKay, and Louis Armstrong became prominent figures during this time period, as they exemplified peace and love through their beautiful pieces of literature and music. Throughout all the writings coming out of the Harlem Renaissance period, we find the common themes of hope, strength, and perseverance. Black artists had to overcome discrimination and false stereotypes through perseverance and the constant desire for a better life. This movement gained a tremendous amount of strength and momentum. It opened the door to creativity and literature in Western high culture for African Americans and shaped how African Americans were viewed worldwide. The idea of individuals coming together for the greater mood of the whole is not a new one. For a prevalent example which exemplifies how a basketball team must operate to succeed, we can look at a wolf pack. Held within a wolf pack, there are both male and females which work together, each with a defined role for the greater good of the pack. Different roles and expectations are set within the hierarchy of a wolf pack. The male and female pack leaders are the alphas in this set social structure. The pack needs strong leaders in order to survive and prevent conflict. Much like a bench player competing hard in practice and challenging a starter for his role, we can find similar competition in a wolf pack. A wolf of low hierarchy may actually challenge a weak alpha for pack leadership. This can create healthy competition throughout, raising the standards for wolves as they work together to gather resources and survive. It's both natural and healthy and keeps the pack strong and resilient. In basketball, you must always strive to do your best at all times, both in games and in practice. If you do not, there will be someone to challenge you, and you may lose your starting role. The Harlem Renaissance also had strong leaders. Alan Locke is known as the philosophical architect of the Harlem Renaissance. He was instrumental in educating white readers about black culture through his writing. He built confidence in the community and fought for equality for African Americans. He mentored others so that their voices could be heard, all for the greater good of the pack. Without good leaders, this movement would have never gained strength or power. The same goes for basketball. Without strong leaders, the team will not do well. And once again, the Wolfpack would not thrive without the best alphas. You win and lose as a team, a universal meaning which can be applied to most events which occur in our life. Although the goal is always to win, there's lots of learning for the team who loses, as it teaches empathy and a competition edge for the next time they compete. To put this into perspective and also connect all subjects I've touched on, a team mentality is always applied within. It is unavoidable for a basketball team to go on a low point during their season, losing games they know they should be winning and not playing with the energy and tenacity to burn their opponent. During this time, staying together as a close-knit group and establishing the team's effort helps the group persevere through the rough time. Upsets occur on a daily basis during the season. It's anyone's game for the taking. A strong mentality and desire to play hard no matter the score or time must be in everyone's mindset. This can also apply to the Harlem Renaissance. The work of the Black artists and innovators created a unique team-like environment. This helped redefine who this society represented, as well as setting up chances for equality in the future. Integration between all races were among all minds of this team, and they carved into the rough opposing with tough mindsets and strong intentions. Through the ups and downs of racial remarks or public judgment, a bond was created between the fellow citizens to keep a high head and hope for the future. Think of a Detroit television broadcast, headline, "Man Breaks into Car." Now try and picture the man who did it. I guarantee a majority would state it was a black man. It's racist, stereotypical, and backwards, but known for being a rough area in the US, Detroit is a hot spot for assumptions about their culture. Being black from the rough part of town, without much education or support within the family, is a hard life to live, and it takes passion and want from individuals to break barriers and stereotypes placed by nature. In order to have change, we must make the consistent effort not to jump to conclusions. Change takes time. Although we have come a long way since the Harlem Renaissance took place, we still find cases of inequality today. In the NBA today, we find cases of racism and trash talk from fans and other players. If everybody contributes a bit and becomes a factor in a fight for fairness, we can hope to diminish the subject and see fairness between all people. Nobody is born racist. We are naturally influenced by family, peers, and the media. Outside of pictures, blogs and chat rooms can contain very negative connotation, leaving a young person in belief. We must look up at positive examples, alpha leaders who make the best decisions for a hierarchical society, which needs change for the better. Last season, the 2019 NBA Championship ran through the Toronto Raptors, who claimed their first ring in franchise history. Through alpha leader Kawhi Leonard, perseverance and sacrifice became relevant as the team fought through a tough Golden State team. All 15 players sacrificed their role on the team for the bigger picture, a lasting memory not only for the city of Toronto, but the country of Canada. Although Leonard claimed Finals MVP, a strong supporting cast of Kyle Lowry and Pascal Siakam helps knock off any hopes for a Golden State repeat. Community, hardship, and family can build the blocks for success. We can seek equality through all matters of love and passion for change.
See you guys.